Well, right now at 6 o'clock, breaking news for you, new aftershocks.
Due to an earthquake, pull all units out from your station.
It was more of a back and forth rolling motion. It was a good shaker.
We are tracking overnight developments right now following the strongest earthquake to hit Southern California in more than 2 decades. The people in the region feeling more shaken even this morning. The latest on the cleanup efforts this morning.
Plus, up in flames, illegal fireworks spark an overnight fire in the South Bay. A live report on the extreme efforts one neighborhood took to try to put it out. And
we celebrate our history, our people.
A salute to America went on as planned in Washington, D.C. despite the rain, but President Trump's tribute to American history didn't come without a fair share of backlash. How critics let him and the crowd know that they were not happy with that big event. Today in Debate continues right now.
And a good morning to you. Thanks so much for starting your morning right here with us. I'm Marcus Washington.
And I'm Chris Sanchez. I'm in for Laura Garcia. Good to have you with us on this Friday morning. It has been very slow on the roadway so far.
I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, so V&A's getting coffee all around.
Oh yeah,
having extra coffee. But it is warm already this morning.
It is going to start to warm up as we go throughout the day. A little bit hotter than it was yesterday in some of our inland valleys. So let's get out the door this morning with some upper 50s in Pleasant Hill. If you're heading to the BART station, it's going to be a nice and cool morning, but it will be warming up at noon. We're at 77 degrees. Here's a look at all of our high temperatures today with the Tri-Valley reaching the mid-80s, 90 in Antioch and 93 in Ukiah. It will be some of the warmer spots while we keep those 60s along the coast. We'll talk about what's ahead for the weekend coming up in just a few minutes, but V&A is getting you a look at that early morning commute.
It is 6 a.m. and I don't have a lot to report, you guys, which back home, I think that's a pleasant sound for you. All right, so speed sensors throughout. Take a look at the East Bay 880, typically very slow around this time. Not to worry about it today, so let's look at how your bridge drive times are doing. Westbound 80 towards the Bay Bridge, only 9 minutes. Westbound 92 towards the San Mateo Bridge, 12 minutes, and westbound 84 towards the Dunbar Bridge, also 9 minutes. So let's take a look at how our live cams are doing throughout. Look at the incline. We've got a couple cars out on the roads, but again, we haven't had any big accidents. We had 2 fender benders, one in Fremont, one in the South Bay. Those cleared out rather quickly, and so far Dublin seems to be building the most commute this morning. So if that is your commute, go ahead and head out now. Back to you.
All right, thanks, V&A. Well, that breaking news this morning, the shaking continues in Southern California. This is after yesterday's 6.4 earthquake in Mojave Desert.
A little after 4 this morning, there was a 5.4 aftershock that hit the same area, and that is in fact the strongest aftershock yet in the almost 20 hours since yesterday's quake. Today in Debate's Roz Plater is here now with the latest developments. Good morning, Roz.
Good morning. You know, as daylight comes, folks were expected to gather at the Walmart in Ridgecrest to start picking up emergency supplies. That's what they've been doing last night and into this morning. But take a look at this seismograph here. This is what happened at the shaking and that aftershock at a little after 4 this morning, 5.4, very, very strong. So we're checking to see if there has been more damage. Now, some businesses have already begun the extensive task of cleaning up after much of their merchandise hit the floor after that 6.4 quake struck about 10:30 yesterday morning. It sparked fires at a couple of homes as gas lines ruptured, and those whose homes were spared still have a lot of cleanup to do. The mayor is asking residents to make sure they check on each other.
Making sure that everybody goes to their neighbor's house, knock on the door, make sure they're all okay, and that they seek help if they need it.
Now, there's also repair work to be done at the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital where some plumbing was damaged yesterday and some residents had to be temporarily evacuated. Again, all that cleanup this morning despite those continuing aftershocks that have been going on all into the night, and again, very early this morning with that 5.4. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Roz. Now, as we've already learned with that strong aftershock this morning, the shaking is far from over in Ridgecrest. Since that initial magnitude 6.4 quake, you can see all of that yellow on your screen and the red. Those are the aftershocks. There have been more than 500 so far, and the number is still going up. The time lapse shows the main quake, and again, all of those aftershocks that came after, some of them registering magnitude 3.0 or higher.
This earthquake does not make the big one any more likely or any less likely.
Seismologists say there's about a 9% chance that an earthquake stronger than a magnitude 6.4 could hit the region in the next week, and an 80% chance that a 5.0 or more, which we already saw this morning, again a 5.4 striking earlier this morning. And our team is working around the clock to bring you the latest information. When this latest aftershock hit this morning, we sent out a silent push alert to the NBC Bay Area app so you'd be in the know as soon as you woke up. Be sure to download the app to stay up to date.
6:03 for you right now. And as 4th of July celebrations continue into this long holiday weekend, one of the biggest and most controversial events took place at the National Mall. President Trump played host. Today in the Bay's Craig Boswell live for us in Washington with a closer look at that event and, of course, Craig, the backlash.
And the cost. Marcus, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, the president, known for veering off script, stuck to the theme, heavy focus on the military, but it's the cost of all of the military hardware and the flyovers that's being tallied up. Flyovers, a rare sight in Washington, D.C., a key part of President Trump's salute to America, as were tanks and troops. Speaking from behind rain-soaked bulletproof glass, the commander-in-chief focused on the military.
We celebrate our history, our people, and the heroes who proudly defend our flag, the brave men and women of the United States military.
Adding up the costs to the taxpayer may take some time. It's something the White House has downplayed. Today, the Washington Post reporting combined hourly cost of the some 24 aircraft in Thursday's flyovers at more than $550,000 an hour. That's using Defense Department reimbursement rates.
This will cost millions of dollars more to do this type of extravaganza, if you will.
Save your voice, make your voice heard.
The celebrations on the mall not without protests. The baby Trump blimp making an appearance. Near the White House, a scuffle surrounding two people setting fire to the flag. After the president recalled the nation's beginnings,
on this day, 243 years ago,
eyes turned to the skies after dark for an extended fireworks finale. That fireworks show lasting a little more than 30 minutes, but the debate, Marcus, over the cost is going to continue long after the fireworks have drifted away. Back to you.
Yeah, we can hear it tallying up now, Craig. Thank you for that report. Also on Capitol Hill, today is the official deadline for the White House to decide whether or not to scrap the citizenship question for the 2020 census. Now, this week, the Commerce Secretary said that the census will be printed without it. But yesterday, President Trump called it fake news and vowed to keep fighting it in the court. Now, last week, the Supreme Court threw the question out, at least in its current form. Opponents say that asking if someone's a citizen could discourage all immigrants, legal or otherwise, from participating in the census.
New overnight, a desperate effort to save this home fully engulfed in flames in the South Bay, and firefighters say they think illegal fireworks sparked it.
Now, this was all part of a busy night for firefighters around the Bay Area. Today in the Bays, Pete Serrato's live for us in Contra Costa County this morning with the latest there. Pete?
Yeah, good morning to you, Marcus and Chris. Yeah, a very busy night for fire crews dealing with the aftermath of some of these illegal fireworks in different parts of the Bay Area. But let's get back to that San Jose incident. Let's show our viewers that video. Multiple trees catching on fire as a result of that incident taking place on the 1800 block of Lute Court in San Jose. Now, witnesses claim that teens were playing with fireworks in the streets, which led to that home catching on fire. In fact, the man stepped into action using his water hose to try to put out that fire, but crews did put it out. No one was inside of that home, and there were no injuries to report, thankfully. Now, then in Contra Costa County, let's go over to that area. Contra Costa Fire responding to 37 fires in 6 hours in areas such as Pittsburgh and Martinez. When it came to that Martinez fire, we know that that was due to fireworks. And then over there in Oakland, specifically East Oakland, you can see in that video illegal fireworks in the area. That continues to be an ongoing problem in that part of town. So really a long night for residents around the Bay Area affected by this. We'll hear from some of them in the next half hour. Reporting live, Pete Serratos for Today in the Bay.
All right, thank you very much, Pete. New video now from Southern California shows this palm tree on fire. It was tweeted out by San Bernardino police with a quote saying, "This is why aerial fireworks are illegal in our city. Our officers are answering hundreds of calls for service regarding illegal fireworks. One team even had to put out a brush fire earlier before it spread.
And during the July 4th holiday weekend, Bay Area authorities are in the midst of a maximum enforcement period. That includes more CHP patrols and in some cases DUI checkpoints. Tonight, Peninsula agencies will deploy a DUI checkpoint in Redwood City.
If you've seen or you happen to see a blue helicopter flying through the skies over places known for high fire danger, the answer is that it is a PG&E chopper. PG&E right now rolling out a new fire prevention program in Bay Area locations, including the Oakland Hills. High-tech helicopters are inspecting thousands of miles of power lines, looking for any trees or branches that could potentially damage those lines and spark wildfires. This is the latest phase of an expanded PG&E fire prevention effort. And this week, the flyover activity is ramping up in this part of California.
And happening now, the Steamboat Geyser in Yellowstone National Park is approaching a record number of eruptions. It is the world's tallest active geyser, and it shoots water more than 300 feet into the air. Look at it there. So the Steamboat Geyser has already erupted 25 times. This is according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It puts it on track to surpass last year's record of 32 eruptions, the largest number ever recorded in a year.
Well, that's how mad I was about hearing all those illegal fireworks late into the night. Kept the dog barking, Carrie.
No, and we're going to hear it again tonight. You already know.
Yep.
So we'll just get used to it, I guess. And so we're waking up this morning with a clear sunrise, a beautiful start to the day. All clear skies in Walnut Creek. Already looks warm, but we are going to start out with cool temperatures, low 60s, and then it does warm up quickly as we go throughout the day with some low 80s at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Let's get a look at all of our microclimates and go throughout the day with some temperatures in the upper 60s by 10 o'clock this morning. Here we are at 10 o'clock and we see Concord already at 71 degrees. It's going to heat up faster in the inland valleys with Antioch and Livermore at 83 degrees at 1 o'clock this afternoon, while still staying in the 60s in San Francisco. As we go into the rest of the day, a few spots will hit 90 degrees, but mostly some mid to upper 80s for the Tri-Valley and much of the East Bay into the North Bay today. So expect it to be a little hotter today than it was yesterday, and temperatures will peak tomorrow. So I'll talk more about that. VNA has a look at the commute and no major issues.
No, like Chris said, I'm on my second cup of coffee because I had time to run to the kitchen today. All right, look at this. Green speed sensors means you're good to go, no big accidents, but I do want to give you an update for mass transit. So all of those who take mass transit, remember that BART is still on a holiday schedule, which means they may cancel some rides due to low ridership, and that's on their website. So go ahead and check out the website before you go and then, miss out. Now, ACE still has no service for the holidays, so they have no service, and then AC Transit not seeing any delays, VTA not seeing any delays, but again, a couple of these are still seeing a couple of changes due to the holiday scheduling, so you definitely want to check that out before you head out the door. If you do have to get to work today or class or whatever it is you got to get to, check that before you leave the house. Aside from that, the road's looking good. Back to you.
Sounds good. I mean, I may have an extra cup of coffee too.
Well, I'll have more water. All right, 6:11 for you right now. And a new way to pay next here on Today in the Bay, the parking ticket program One City is launching, giving drivers a very unique way to settle fines.
Plus, Apple's iCloud is up and running again after an outage took it down for a few hours yesterday. We'll show you how it affected operations for the service.
And caught on camera, a nutty police chase. Yeah, I say that with a fun atmosphere. So this fast-moving suspect sends officers scrambling in New Hampshire.
And later at 6:25, are you thinking about cutting the cord? We'll show you why making the switch away from cable might not save you as much money as you think. You're watching Today in the Bay.